Good afternoon, students. This is session 9 of Introduction to English Studies, Unit 2, Literary Terms and Linguistic Competence, prescribed for first BA optional English students of Tumkur University. The topic of this video is Basic Comprehension Techniques. Basic comprehension skill is a foundational skill and it is taught early on to build more vocabulary and oral language skills. Before reading, teachers usually ask students to share information they already know on the topic using the 5 W's: who or what, did what, when, where, why, to help organize their prior knowledge. Basic comprehension skills are abilities needed to understand a written or spoken language. It is a set of skills which include not just recognizing words, but understanding the meaning of sentences, paragraphs, larger pieces of text, as well as the ability to draw inferences, make connections, and relate the information to prior knowledge. Comprehension skills are cognitive capabilities. They are higher order skills with a multiple skills which help to understand the text. These cognitive capabilities include summarizing, paraphrasing, drawing conclusions, sequencing events, ranking information, recognizing the author's purpose, interpreting figurative language, and identifying the cause and effects. In order to learn all these skills, we should have an idea of key aspects of basic comprehension skills. Decoding is one such. Decoding is the ability to translate written words into spoken language and understand their individual meanings. Fluency is reading accurately and at a good pace or speed, which allows the reader to focus on meaning rather than struggling with individual words. Understanding the meaning of words, their, both their common meanings and specialized meanings, is vocabulary. The student should be able to understand how words are combined to form sentences and how sentences connect to create a coherent text. They must relate the text to what the reader already knows and should be able to draw logical conclusions. The reader should have the ability to hold information in mind while processing it and focus on the text. These basic aspects are essential to summarize the text, to paraphrase the text, to draw conclusions, to arrange the events in a sequential order, to rank the information given, identifying the author's purpose, interpreting the figurative language, and identifying cause and effect relations within the text. Significance of basic comprehension skills. Without comprehension, we will not be able to learn effectively from texts, articles, or other forms of communication. They help to acquire learning and knowledge. Comprehension allows for analyzing, evaluating, and interpreting information, which is a key to critical thinking and problem solving. Understanding written and spoken communication is vital for effective interactions, both in personal relationships and personal settings. Reading and comprehending diverse texts expose individuals to different perspectives and ideas, fostering personal growth and empathy. The ability to comprehend and analyze what is read is crucial for making informed decisions in this world filled with information. The significance of comprehension skills is vast. We need to acquire these comprehension skills with the help of certain strategies. Some of the basic strategies are to increase the vocabulary, that is, expanding one's understanding of the words, the deeper meaning for a deeper understanding of the text. We have to use context clues to infer the meaning of unfamiliar words from surrounding text. Developing the habit of questioning the text as you read can help clarify meaning and identify areas of confusion. Putting the text into your own words can help solidify understanding. That is, to summarize and paraphrase, help to comprehend. So, here is one example of a narrative text and how we can apply strategies for reading comprehension. Students can understand a narrative text when he writes the story in the form of a diagram and identify the setting, characterization, plot, and theme of the story. Setting is when and where the story takes place. Characters are peoples and animals in the story whose motivations and drives lead the story. Plot is the storyline where the problems and conflicts are dissolved by the protagonist. Theme is the idea or lesson the story author wants the reader to learn from the story. Okay, here is one example of how to understand a literary text. If you are familiar with this story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, basic comprehension includes a diagram of the story, that is the story map. What is the title of the story? Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And where the story is set? Once upon a time, house in the forest. So the story is set in the past, once upon a time. And there is a house in the forest. Who are the characters in the story? We have Goldilocks, Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. This has to do with the setting and characters and the title. So, what is the plot? The problem in the play is while the bears are away, Goldilocks goes into the bear's house. That is where the problem begins, the conflict begins between a human and an animal. Important events in the play in this story are Goldilocks ate a bowl of porridge. She sat on the chair and broke it. Goldilocks laid down in the bed and fell asleep. The bears came home and found the empty bed, the broken chair, and Goldilocks is in bed. They are the important events of this story. What is the outcome or the conflict? How is it resolved? Goldilocks runs away and never comes back. The theme of this story is you should respect other people's property. Likewise, a story can be comprehended by using this simple pattern: identifying the title, setting, characters, problem, important events in the story, the outcome, and the moral you learn from the story or the theme. Take this example as model and try to understand or comprehend the text of any story of your choice for practice. For summarizing, we need certain techniques. Summarizing is the ability to identify the main idea of the text and the key points that supports the main idea. So the process goes like this. Try to note down KWL. K means what you know about the text. Identify points in the text about what you know. Means what I want to know from the text. You write some questions about what you want to learn. L is what I have learned from the text. As they finish reading the text, write answers for the questions they have asked in column W. That is what they want to learn. After reading the text, you answer what you have learned. After you have completed this process, KWL process, you discuss the answers with your teacher or friends. This is one summarizing technique. We also have graphic organizers like writing down T diagrams that represents categorizes, hierarchies, tables that compare and contrast data, time driven diagrams that represent order of events, historical orders or chronological sequences, flow charts that represents the steps of the process. These are some of the summarizing techniques. How to master vocabulary? So, vocabulary is the proficiency in understanding and using a range of words and phrases, including synonyms, antonyms, and context clues. To learn synonyms and antonyms, we have the Thesaurus Dictionary. It is an effective way to improve your vocabulary. So, synonyms are words with similar meanings, and antonyms are words with opposite meanings. They can help you understand the word more deeply and use them more accurately and often in your writing and speech. To learn synonyms and antonyms, you can use a thesaurus dictionary. The dictionary of synonyms and antonyms is called a thesaurus. You have to learn words by context, not by just memorizing lists. How these words are used in sentences or short paragraphs. Based on these context clues, you can learn new words. To begin learning vocabulary, start with some simple common words which you already know and gradually expand your vocabulary. Organize these synonyms and antonyms into categories based on the parts of speech, whether they are adjectives or verbs. Prepare your own list to make easy for you to learn. The best way to improve your vocabulary is to actively use them. Practice new words in your daily conversations and writing sentences using these words. To learn context clues, here are some tips. Context clues are hints within a text that help the reader understand the meaning of unfamiliar words or phrases. By analyzing the surrounding words, sentences, or even paragraphs, readers can infer meaning of the unknown without consulting a dictionary. How to use them? Here are some examples. Identify the unknown word. Locate the word or phrase which you don't understand. Then carefully read the sentence before and after the unknown word. Look for clues. Pay attention to any definitions, synonyms, antonyms, examples, or other clues that help you to understand the word meaning. Make an educated guess. Based on the clues, tries to guess the meaning of the word. Check your guess. Substitute your guessed meaning back into the sentence to look if it makes sense. Here are some example of how to identify context clues. Sometimes the sentence might directly define the word. For example, the word antipathy means a strong feeling of dislike or aversion. Based on the definition or the context clue, you can understand the meaning of the word antipathy. The meaning of this word can be inferred from the overall context. There will be no direct definition, but you can infer the meaning with the help of the overall context. For example, the room had been long neglected, with dust covering the furniture and cobwebs collecting in the corners of the ceiling. Here, the difficult word is neglected. The meaning of this word can be inferred to mean not cared for. So, the room was covered with dust and the furniture and cobwebs were collecting in the corners of the ceiling. By understanding the context, you can learn the meaning of neglected, that is, not cared for. Sometimes the context might show a cause and effect relationship. For example, she was petrified when she saw the spider because she hates them. The difficult word is petrified. It means the word is revealed through the comparison with something familiar. She is petrified because she hates the spider. So, petrified means or petrified has to do something which we hate about. The meaning of a word is sometimes revealed through a comparison with something familiar. He was flummoxed like a toddler, staring down at his feet, unsure about walking. So, here is one difficult word, flummoxed. It means unsure, unsure about walking, how a toddler stares down at its own feet, unsure about walking. Similarly, the word flummoxed have the same meaning. The sentence might use a synonym to clarify the word's meaning. For example, we will use the food court as our rendezvous unless you can suggest a better meeting place. So, meeting place has to do with rendezvous. By looking at the synonyms, you can clarify the meaning of a difficult word. This is how to use the context clues to comprehend a text. To conclude, comprehension techniques enhance our capacity to analyze and evaluate the contents of the passage, including recognizing biases, inconsistencies, and logical fallacies. Understanding of how words, phrase, sentences function in the context of the passage as a whole improve our contextual understanding. To summarize, comprehension skills aim to assess the individual's reading and comprehension, which are essential for effective communication and decision making in various personal and professional contexts. Comprehension techniques are foundational skills. They are the basic building blocks which help to do extensive reading. They can be learnt by building vocabulary, understanding context clues, decoding, and analyzing sentence constructions and cohesions. So, comprehension skills are essential and can be acquired very not very easily, but you need certain practice to acquire these comprehension skills. In the coming videos, we will look into further strategies for understanding comprehension. As of now, thank you.